were chopping them up, they were chopping them down. It's an ancient Chinese art.
Hey guys, it is Tuesday, and I don't know if you can hear the rumbling of the thunder, but I'm out here with my buddies, and Holly saw online the other day a Cocker Spaniel that was in need of rescue, was due to be euthanized, and unfortunately it was in Miami. She contacted them, said, hey, I'm interested in the dog, I can't make it to Miami, can you bring it to us? Or can we meet halfway? And they're like, yeah, we'll meet you in Daytona. And then Holly's like, yay, cute little cocker. I've seen a picture of it. But then they're like, oh, by the way, we have this other dog that needs to be fostered. Could you help us out with it? Oh my gosh. Luckily, we're in a spot where we can afford, or we're not afford, but where we have the room for all these dogs. Otherwise, it'd be killer. But, you know, my wife is a wonderful woman with a big heart, and she can't... Sorry, the lens keeps on fogging up. And she's got a good heart, and she can't bear to say no to an animal in need. So, we're going to be a foster parent and a new adoptee, all in the same fell swoop. And of course, I'll introduce you guys when we get them. So, I don't know, can you see that? Look at that sky. It's looking pretty crazy. Very gray. It's a very gray sky. I just got a question from a Facebook friend of mine about, she knows me through my Scientology demonstrations and stuff like that and protests. And she asked how I became critical of the cult of Scientology. I've told this story a few times, so I'm sorry if anybody's watching this that's heard this story, but she asked, so I figured I'd oblige her. It happened one night. I was just looking up funny reporter freakouts on YouTube. And I came across the famous John Sweeney video.
I'm not an expert on brainwashing. And when asked in that case why he kept making the accusation, Sweeney's reaction was unexpected, to say the least.
No, listen to me! You are not there! At the beginning of that interview! You were not there! You did not hear or record all the interview! Do you understand?
Brainwashing is a crime.
Do you understand? You are quoting the second half of the interview! Not the first half! You cannot assert what you...
I was curious. I'm like, okay, well, that seems odd. And I'm like, well, what's this Scientology stuff? And so that led to me learning about the death of Lisa McPherson, which in turn led me to Sean Lonsdale and all these other things that I learned about Scientology and the Rehabilitation Project Force and just the abuses and the forced abortions or coerced abortions, however you want to say it. So once I started researching Scientology, I went down what they call the rabbit hole. So that's kind of how it happened, and that was right around the whole time that the anonymous Chinology, Project Chinology came about. So I found my local mission. It wasn't even an org, it was just a mission that I never saw. The whole time I was there protesting, I never saw anybody go in and I never saw anybody come out. it was kind of weird. But I knew somebody was in there because they called the cops on me one time. Me and a couple of people were out there, and we had 4 cops show up for 3 people. So, you know, that was rather interesting. So I went in front of the mission and, you know, just educated the public on what Scientology is, what they believe, how they're abusing people, and that sort of thing. So that's kind of how I got involved with it. And then when I, you know, the main reason I did this is because I have a son that lives in the Clearwater area, and you know, when I found out about Scientology, I was living in Maine at the time, and so I don't want my son to be fresh meat for the cult. And so I figured I would do, you know, take that old axiom, all it takes for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. And I decided I was going to do something, so that's kind of how that came about. This is where Charlie lays when we sleep at night. That's his spot. All we have to do is say, Charlie, get in your spot, and he gets in his spot. I'm just going to say this and get this off my chest. I am so annoyed with people on Twitter thinking that they can convince me to think the way that they think. It happened, I retweeted something from SeaWorld. I happen to enjoy SeaWorld. I went there, I liked it. Yeah, I saw the movie Blackfish, and I know that those people had an agenda. They slanted things their way. I also happen to have done research from former trainers that have worked there that have no reason to say anything good or bad. You know, yeah, should the enclosures be a little bigger? Yeah, probably. Maybe they should be, you know, maybe they should be bigger. But anyway, I'm not here to debate that. You know, and the fact that, you know, you release them back into the wild, you know what's going to happen? They're so used to having the supplements and this and that and the care that they're going to get sick and they're going to die. So, you know what? That closing SeaWorld down does nothing. It's stupid. So anyway, now that I got that off my chest, this one person I think was just a bot that, you know, I got a tweet from, so I responded to the tweet and I raised some points. They never answered my points, and several of the tweets said the same exact thing verbatim. So then today I get a tweet and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Are you another bot? Well, it wasn't. And then all of a sudden this person just starts going on and on. I'm like, look, just leave me alone. You're not going to convince me to think any differently. Just bye-bye. And then they said something about being British, or, you know, and I'm like, oh, so now I'm just a stupid American. Whatever. Bye. And they still kept on hounding. I mean, come on. You're not going to convince me to think any differently. You're just not. I have my opinion. I went there. I was blown away. I was in awe of the majesty of the animals. When I went to the shark enclosure, you know, the shark encounter, that was amazing. The penguins were amazing. So, you know what? I can enjoy God's creatures. I know that ideally they should be in the wild, you know, but if you're going to say that animals shouldn't be captive, then, you know what? We shouldn't have dogs either. We shouldn't have cats, and, you know, everybody should be able to roam free and whatever. Anyway, end rant. Thank you. Well, it's been an uneventful day. Vacuuming, job hunting. But anyway, remember, fight the power.